Hello there, Michelle. Okay, thank you for getting your work back in. Slight delay getting your work back to you, but here we go. Recently, energy security has been a major issue of many political debates globally. Good. Renewable energy resources are more and more, ever more common. Sounds slightly better. Ever more common in industrialized countries as well as underdeveloped states. Good. Certain people will encourage this due to a cost reduction and a beneficial environmental effect, while others, yeah, doubt these advantages due to the possible insecure balance between energy supply and demands. Wonderful sentence. I tend to agree with the former argument, thinking about the positive future effects of green energy on our world, and will use examples to prove my view. Fantastic, much better. On the one hand, those who are afraid of the use of sustainable energy will argue that there is no guarantee of continuous access to this kind of energy. Dependence on weather circumstances can cause a disbalance between the requirements and the provisions. Super. For example, considering solar energy, if the winter is very hard in Europe, with an average lower amount of sun hours, it is possible that at the end of winter there is a depletion of energy storage. People might fall out of energy. No, might run out of energy, I think was the verb we're looking for there, the phrasal verb. Hence, this seems to be solved simply by correct estimations and calculations done by energy companies to avoid such situations of disaster for the inhabitants. Not too bad. Good. Here's just a small tip. Verbs like made and done can usually be replaced by more accurate, more specific verbs. And we do this by changing the noun into a verb. So what we could do, let's see. So let's see, simply by calculating and estimating correctly, yeah, or by correct estimations and calculations by energy companies. In fact, we could just delete the done in that sentence. On the other hand, the evolution of our energy landscape to more sustainable energy sources seems to be beneficial for the environment around the world. It is our task to take care of the future of our globe where our children have to become old. Okay. For example, recent climatological research proved, very good phrase there, that if only half of our energy would be sustainable, climate change could slow down within 20 years compared to the continuous use of fossil fuels. Okay, so overly complex there. Let me just read that again. For example, recent climatological research proved that if only half of our energy would be sustainable, climate change could slow down 20 years. No, could slow down by 20 years. Okay. The problem, okay, here we could say the effects of climate change could be mitigated almost completely, unlike the situation if we continue using fossil fuels, or could be completely mitigated, which is highly unlikely with the continuous use of fossil fuels. Okay, so we almost nailed it, but good. Excellent work. Therefore, I think it is our task as the inhabitants of this world to take our responsibilities to make this still livable for our future generation. Good. This here, I'm not so sure. Okay, to make the world, to make Earth. Therefore, I still think it is our task as the inhabitants of this world to take our responsibilities, to make our responsibilities, no, to assume our responsibilities to ensure the earth is still livable for future generations. Okay, we don't need to say our generations there, it's quite clear. But excellent work, I'm very impressed. In conclusion, in my view, also we not really need this either, because it's clear we're saying we need to. In conclusion, we need to encourage the use of green resources for energy because of the positive effects on the environment in terms of the present and the future. Fantastic. The fear of depleting these resources can be countered, or can be countered by using reliable matrices to calculate the required energy for difficult periods such as winter. Such as just sounds more academic. Encounter and counter, two different verbs there. Excellent work, Michelle. Very impressed. This map shows an island with above the prior situation and below. Okay, so it sounds as though all of that's together with above the prior situation. It doesn't read correctly. So the map shows an island with a prior situation and previous situation, or a before and after for simplicity. Yeah? And where the maps are located on the piece of paper is irrelevant. Yeah, we don't see there's a pie chart above the bar chart, or above the map is the previous situation, below the map is the situation afterwards. We don't need that, okay? So we just say, the map shows an island with before and, okay. The maps show two islands, one before construction and the other afterwards. Full stop. Overall, the major changes were made in terms of transport to reach the island and accommodation for travellers. Okay, it sounds like to reach the accommodation for travellers, which doesn't make any sense, so let's change that round. Overall, the major changes were the accommodation for the travellers and the transport to reach the island. Full stop. No areas have been untouched compared to the first map. The beach has been completely left, so be careful there. The most significant change took place at the western side of the island, where they built huts which can be reached by the central footpath. This path leads directly to the beach, which remained the same. So you did acknowledge that. So there's a contradiction there. Be careful. In front of the central building, a pier has been constructed so tourists can arrive by boat and take a car to reach the central building, and even can go around it. Good. From that central building, shops and a restaurant are accessible by car or by foot, using a path or road on the eastern side. Okay? Be careful. North, west, east, south, and even better, western, northern, southern, eastern. Okay? The infrastructure to the east of the island is mainly used for sleeping facilities, with 8 different cabins constructed in a circle form. At the end of the island, on the right side, a lake was created next to the coast. Good. An artificial lake, just to be a little bit more specific. So, excellent work there, Michelle. Big improvement since your last essay. I've included links to another pack if you want to carry on improving. What I recommend you do is make a list of all the mistakes you've made, and the next essays you write, you check those essays for mistakes you've made previously. Check it against your error list. Okay? Also, you probably might want to write out your corrected essays, pen and paper as well. And if you do want to carry on improving and carry on getting feedback, then have a look at the links. There's a special offer there. Okay, Michelle, all the best and keep improving. Take care.